Hello friends, I am Ritesh sir. Today I will give you a brief idea about the chapter called Time and Distance. Some of my students are very afraid of maths. Eventually they are not. I tried to eliminate their fear. Now without wasting your time, just quickly plunge into this chapter. Time and distance, as the name suggests, is a concept that revolves around time, distance, speed, average speed, and all those things. Uh, the formula to find out speed is distance by time. Now, this is something which any book would tell you. My job is to explain the matter to you. Speed is calculated in terms of either kilometer per hour or meter per second. So, this is the unit of speed. When you are trying to calculate the speed of a bus, the speed of a train, the speed of a car, then the preferable unit is always kilometer per hour. But when you're trying to find the speed of a train, the speed of a man, when you're trying to find the speed of, let's say, a ball that is falling from the sky or the stone that is falling from a terrace, then you try to use the formula meter per second. Likewise, if you're trying to find the velocity at which something moves and something that happens only for a few seconds or a few minutes, then the preferable unit is meter per second. In order to find speed, you use the formula distance by time. Now it is of vital importance that when you are finding speed in kilometer per hour, then you choose distance in kilometer. So if distance is given in meter or in centimeter, you convert it into kilometer. Likewise, you convert time into hours. If the time is given in seconds, you divide by 60 into 60. If the time is given in minutes, you divide it by 60 and you get it in hours. So the entire distance by speed, which is kilometer by hour, will give you the unit of speed. On the other hand, if you're finding speed in meter per second, then find distance in meter, find time in terms of second, and then divide it and you get speed in meter per second. We move on now to the second formula, which is how to calculate time. Time, as you know, has a unit which is either hours or minutes or seconds. Conventionally speaking, we either choose hours or we choose seconds. If something takes a longer time, we choose hour. If something takes a shorter time, we choose second. A very specific and a very common type of question that you get in class 7 and 8 is that of train that rushes past a lamp post, that rushes past a tree, or a train that crosses a platform. Now for all those things where a train crosses a train or a train crosses a platform or a man or a lamp post, think about it, the entire incident happens in just a matter of few seconds, which means when you are calculating how much time the train takes to pass another train or to pass a man or a lamp post or a platform, then the ideal unit will be second and not hours. In that case, you use the formula distance by speed, but remember that you convert distance in meter and you convert speed in meter per second. And when you divide them, the answer will come in second. Alright? If that is clear, then we move to the third formula, which is of distance. Now distance, if you know how to cross multiply, then distance, if you multiply distance by 1, you get distance equal to time into speed. So this formula is actually a derivation of this formula or this formula. Here also distance into 1 is distance and speed into time is speed into time. So distance is speed into time. A very simple way to remember this is, like I personally remember it as, I feel that distance is the, out of these three gentlemen here, speed, distance and time, let's say distance is the king or the nobleman, while speed and time are the subordinates or the lower ranked people. So when you calculate distance, then these two lower ranked people need to join hands together, and when they multiply each other, then you get distance. On the other hand, if you have to find time, then you must divide distance by speed, which means the high rank person, distance, will be above the lower ranked person. Similarly, when you are finding speed, the higher ranked person or the king or the nobleman distance will be superior to time. So it will be distance by time. But when you are finding distance itself, which is the higher authority, the higher person, the king or the nobleman, then these two small ranked people must join hands together. They must be multiplied with each other, and only in that case you will come to the formula of distance. That's an easier and a convenient way to remember the three formulae without getting confused or puzzled. So to find distance, you multiply speed with time. If you want to find distance in kilometer, then you take speed in kilometer per hour, you take time in hours. If you want to find distance in terms of meter, then you take speed in meter per second, you take time in seconds. When you multiply, automatically seconds and seconds will get cancelled and you will get the answer in meter. Again, it is important to note how to calculate average speed. Now just to give you an example, suppose if you are told that Ram goes from his home to a park in say 2 hours and returns back in 3 hours. Let's say he walks, he's a slow walker, so he goes in 2 hours and he returns back, that is covers the same distance in 3 hours. You have to calculate the average speed of going and coming, the average speed. So the average speed will be total distance by total time. Let us say that the distance of the park, the distance between the park and his house is 10 kilometers. Alright, distance is 10 kilometers. So the total distance in this case is 10 plus 10. 10 while going and 10 while returning. Yes. So the total distance is 20 kilometers. By the total time is, you tell me, total time is 2 hours plus 3 hours. He takes 2 hours to go and 3 hours to return. So the total time is 2 plus 3, 5 hours. Therefore the average speed is 20 kilometer by 5 hours. If you cancel 5 with 20, you get 4. So the answer is 4 kilometer per hour. So the average speed is 4 kilometer per hour. Is that okay? Alright then. Okay friends, so if you liked my video, if you liked what I taught, then please like and subscribe and don't forget to come back.